question number 9. With reference to urban cooperative banks in India, consider the following statements. Again, this is current affair issue. It's a current affair. Because as far as these urban cooperative banks are concerned, some issues are going on, especially this Punjab and Maharashtra urban cooperative bank. It was completely it was taken over by the Reserve Bank of India, and lot of restrictions were imposed. From then onwards, these urban cooperative banks are in news, and recently in the year 2020 in the budget also, finance minister has mentioned about the new amendments that they are going to bring for these urban cooperative banks, and even they have brought a new law to regulate these urban cooperative banks. So this urban cooperative bank issue is in recently news. That is the reason why question came. But they did not ask which bank went into the bankruptcy or what type of actions you have taken. No, they are focused on some of the important aspects and the historical aspects of this urban cooperative banking system. Anyway, I'll read the statements and later I'll explain. They are supervised and regulated by local boards set up by the state governments. They can issue equity shares and preference shares. They were brought under the purview of Banking Regulation Act 1949 through an amendment in 1966. See, just I want to explain a brief information about this urban cooperative banks. Sir, there is a concept called cooperatives in our country. So there are many cooperatives are there. So one is credit cooperatives. Second one is the producer cooperatives. That means either it is the farmers or either it is agriculture farmers or either it is the dairy farmers, or otherwise it is something about the waivers or something. Any producer can start a producer cooperative, and even consumer cooperatives, and even this cooperative banks, and even housing cooperatives, like we have different cooperatives are there. See, credit cooperative means people will form a group and they will cater the needs among themselves by they will deposit some amount of money and they will manage this some money and they will try to cater their own needs. And credit society is the scope of credit society is very limited. It is only limited to their member. And whereas the cooperative banks is also something like that, where the members of the cooperative banks are the members of that, and they will be available to get any other banking services. But when it comes to the function, the cooperative banking functions are much more wider than the credit cooperative societies. Their functions are at smaller scale. Their scope is very less. And their function is at the smaller level. But whereas cooperative banks are doing at the higher level, normally we are also having the cooperative banks at the district level, and also mostly at the urban level we are having these cooperative banks. And till recently these cooperative banks they cannot issue capital outside its members, but recently the law changed and they said like even they can issue the equity and preferential share to the other person to get the more amount of money. But the point is, who will control these cooperatives? These cooperatives are controlled in two ways. One is there are cooperatives which are registered at the state level. There are cooperatives called multi-state cooperative societies. So the cooperative society which is present in a particular state is controlled by the state government. There is a state registrar and the commissioner. They are there. Okay, so the state registrar will control that, and whereas when it comes to the multi-state cooperation, you like same registrar but at the central level he will operate. Multi-state cooperative means a cooperative society which is having its own branches in more than one state. So you are having the state cooperatives and multi-state cooperatives. But the point is, when it comes to this cooperative bank, as the word bank mentioned here, it performs the banking function. So it is performing the banking function. That is the reason why we have amended this particular act of banking regulation. We have amended the Banking Regulation Act 19 Banking Regulation Act of 1949 in the year 1966 to bring cooperative banks, not cooperative credit societies, cooperative banks under the purview of Reserve Bank of India. Now from then onwards, from 1966 onwards, these cooperative banks are having a dual control. So dual control means one is the state registrar will control, and next RBI is controlling, because as it is performing banking function. But when this Punjab Maharashtra Cooperative Bank PMC Bank issue came, then Reserve Bank of India said, as it is a cooperative bank, normally Reserve Bank of India don't have a full supervision. It is the state government must have that supervision. That they said, but state is unable to looking into the bank, what is happening to that bank. Then ultimately that bank has failed. Now in the year 2020, we have brought a new regulation to this entire urban cooperative banks, that now the RBI is having more overriding powers on state registrar. Now the RBI got more and more power. State registrar can take some power, but on the above this RBI is having more powers on this urban cooperative bank. So now RBI is having more power, state is having some power, and this is all about this urban cooperative bank. Now I will come to the question. Because this issue happened, that is the reason why this question asked. Now they were brought under the purview of Banking Regulation Act 1949 through an amendment in 1966. The first amendment was done in 1966. If you are looking into the history of urban cooperatives, you can understand. So the third statement is correct. So I can eliminate option A. 2, 3, 1, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Again still I can't say. Okay, this is correct. They can issue equity shares and preferential shares. Yes, they can issue the equity and preferential shares. That is what mentioned in the new amendment. So 2 and 3. So that means I can eliminate C. Now again looking into the first statement, they are supervised and regulated by local board set up by the state government. It is not local boards, it is the state registrar, not local boards. There is no concept called local board. So the statement is wrong. That means 2 and 3 are correct. That means option B is correct. Option B is correct. And again this is a current issue, and please try to understand. They have asked about the historical aspect of the question. They are asked about recent changes of the act. They are asked about the regulation or the administration of that particular aspect. So 3 different aspects of the question, but still it's a current affair question.
Amrita IAS Academy.